trifling and Etruscan, addicts of drugs not yet synthesized, black marketeers of World War III, excisers of telepathic sensitivity, osteopaths of spirit, investigators of infractions denounced by bland paranoid chess players, servers of fragmentary warrants taken down with frenetic shorthand, charging unspeakable mutilations of the spirit, officials of unconstituted police states,
And we are here with the Freethinkers Society #2 with Michael Romanelli. Straight across from me, Michael Romanelli.
What's up, everyone?
And I don't even know your full name here. We've been running around for 20 minutes.
All right, we got a very, very special guest today. We have my best friend in the world who just came home, Joe Carollo.
Hello, world.
I'm so excited that he's here.
Hold on.
This is this is amazing and a perfect time for the Freethinkers Society. The perfect guest. Someday Joe will have his own show or own thing, part of the Freethinker.tv, part of the whole Broken Simulation thing. Joe will definitely be a part of that. So Joe, you did a little bit of a vacation, not vacation. You did some college,
School
right?
of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, you went to college for a little bit.
Yep. Out.
And you're home from college, and you're home, and you come home to a different world.
Well, I was in there watching the world inside there, so I could imagine, what I went through during such a period of time between a pandemic and then being turned down on a program that I should have been out earlier. The next day hits, it's a pandemic, and then next thing you know, there's riots everywhere, and I'm behind bars. So it was pretty intense.
Yeah, so let's back it up too. So I was super excited when that's the wrong terminology. I was excited for Joe when I saw these pedophiles and killers being released. I was like, oh, it's a slam dunk. That means somebody with a low-level drug charge is going to be getting home. And when I say drug charge, I'm talking about cannabis. I'm not talking about anything else. So I was like, oh, for sure. And then I find out your stay got extended. You got to go for your master's. You were supposed to go just for an associate's. You ended up doing a master's. Why?
The main reason is they thought I needed some more time. I don't know what 60 days really does as more time, but during that 60-day period, it ended up turning into a 90-day period.
So it wasn't a quarantine thing. I thought it was like...
No, I went into quarantine, too. This is before I literally went in on March the 12th to court, got turned down, and the day or 2 days later, the world went into social distancing panic, and then that's the next roller coaster that happened. Before I even entered any quarantine, I had to deal with the reality of it hitting America and the world.
All right, that's another interesting thing you just brought up, Joe. So just to bring everyone up to speed, Joe, like I said, is one of my best friends in the world, and the two of us, we always were free thinkers. We always free thought. We never, most of the time, if you told us to go right, we always went left because we never trusted what you were saying on the right, or vice versa, up, down, doesn't matter. Just
down the middle.
Yeah, whatever. We always, in our early days, right? I always tell people when I've been on other podcasts that we were so scared that we would, at least I was, you weren't so much, I was, that I'd only watch VHS of these things. I wouldn't put them I would go to other people's computers and watch things. I was so scared, but we always free thought. We always watched the videos. We questioned the narratives. And we could talk about that a little bit later. But before I forget this point is a lot of the free thinking community is calling this a plandemic. This is planned out. This isn't real. You were inside confined places. You said the guy that was with you passed away. You've seen it firsthand. Do you? And normally, I'm not speaking for you, but I feel like if you were on the outside, you'd probably be on this side of maybe it's a pandemic or whatever. But you were inside in a government facility where things are, obviously not the cleanliness and all that shit. So what do you think? What's your thoughts?
So I think, and I'm coming from, let's say, a lot of dedicated at one point in my lifetime into understanding the truth and us going deeper and wider than most. I've ran into situations in life where I'm like, I went too deep, and it had nothing to do with me searching on the internet, but I went so deep that I think that I have a good understanding. I've educated myself enough and experienced myself enough now to see why it could be understood in as many different perceptions. And I want to say perceptions because you're not going to know a black and white truth. It's always going to be gray.
Yeah.
Could it have been planned out? Yes. Do they want to have population control? Yes. Is it something that is so simple to be like, oh, it's planned? No. Because everybody has a different idea of who planned it. Oh, Trump did it. Oh, the Chinese did it. Oh, nobody really knows who did it. If it was me to say, if I had to if I said, what do I think's happening? I think that it's a collective doing, master of puppets. It's not Trump. It's not China. It's
You'll never
a small group.
That's what I always tell people. You never know.
It's a small group of powerful people that act like they're enemies when they're not. We are essentially the enemy and the pawns. It's their game. They're not on the board. They're the hands that move the pieces. They even move the kings.
Yes.
So they confuse the pawns. They confuse the kings. They confuse the bishops. And then they allow life to unfold while they're acting as in being an enemy or a war when they're making money and having control, because it's not about money. It's more about power. So, yeah, do I think it was planned? Yeah, but do I think it was China or Trump?
Hey, but you don't
no,
think it's fake,
I think
right?
it
'Cause
was
a lot of people are doing the fake.
bigger than
a lot of the
Trump.
planned people are calling like it's fake. It's a flu.
No, that's bullshit because my bunkie died and I caught it. So
Yeah,
it
so-
ain't no fake.
And how?
I think it's a synthetic
Yeah.
virus that was created because what I felt when this thing hit me was like no flu. I'm a high risk because of my being an asthmatic, and it first started as a flu feeling, and then the bones hurt, and I thought it was from just lifting and being a little sore. And I was trying to put my head into the right place, started meditating, and then next I can't taste anything, I can't smell.
Oh,
but
you
I
got
don't.
that shit like that. Where you
Oh
couldn't taste it.
I got that Rona.
If
That's
you
what they
could,
call it.
yeah. If you
Call
could,
it- at my school, Hard Knocks, it was the Rona.
yeah. If you can't smell or taste, you had it.
Yeah, and I was in the. It was weird because you can't smell, you can't taste, but yet you don't have a stuffy nose.
Yeah, that's
You had a sinus thing, but it wasn't stuffy, and then it moves. So my heart was like boom, 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 boom. I was like, yo, that shit's in my heart right now.
oh shit.
And then it went to my bones, then it went to the sweats, then it went to the cough, then I couldn't breathe. And it was a 24 hours of someone squeezing my lungs.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, wow, it's in my lungs now. So what I did was, instead of getting nervous or panicking, I started meditating, and I started breathing really deep, and I started focusing on my breath because I knew that my oxygen and my level of breathing and all of that mattered so much. And, it took 2.5 weeks, but I got over it. And then next thing you know, I'm in quarantine. And do I know that it's not in my system still? Absolutely not. But I got tested and I was negative.
Yeah.
And that was about, 4 weeks, later.
So there's levels and there's layers to this thing. It's like, listen, I don't attack, and someday I would love to have people. There's people out there that think that the planes were holograms that went to the towers. Now, me being underneath the towers, I can tell you that's not true. I'm not going to shame those people because they're free thinking. They're thinking they weren't there. They don't know. Maybe they're somewhere else in the country. They don't know people because they even think some people didn't die. I could tell you for a fact people were jumping out of those buildings. I always say I have no idea who did it. I could tell you it wasn't what they told you on the news, and that's as far as, we could always talk about that. But so you were kind of a lot of us were in our homes.
I'm going to say something to the plain thing. Perception is reality, not reality. So someone that believes something strong enough is going to convince you maybe, or the next person maybe, that actually happened, and they believe it without a shadow of a doubt. That doesn't mean it happened.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I don't want to like. This is a free thinking place. This is a place where I don't want people that agree with me. I want to hear everything. I want to talk to people that believe in Bigfoot. I want to talk to people that chase the Jersey Devil, all that kind of stuff. And I'm gonna, with an open mind, listen to them. Like I said, but it should anger me, right? Like it should anger me when I hear those people talk. But I listen. It's just part of where I am as a person right now. And it's interesting because a lot of the people in this community, what you want to call it, truthers or whatever, the dirty word of conspiracy theorist, a lot of them think this is just made up. And it's very much so happening on the West Coast because they didn't get hit as hard. And I was starting to feel that way because I was in my house and I'm like, and then when I started coming out, I started talking to some guys that I've cooked with in the past. A bunch of guys I've cooked with in the past are gone.
When you say made up, you mean that people aren't really getting sick?
Yeah, so there was a lot of talk around here that they were fudging the numbers, that anyone that died had the corona.
But
So,
let
'cause
me
there
say
was
this to you.
money,
What do
you're
you say
getting-
when you see dead bodies hitting the floor and they don't know where to put them? And
Well, they didn't show us that.
They showed bodies.
We
I saw
didn't
them
see
on the
much
news.
of it on the news here.
Oh, I had Philly news, and we saw bodies.
I
Wrapped
didn't
up,
see
going out.
much. Clint, did you?
They did a little bit, but
They were
they
covered.
didn't keep it up. But my thought is, there's normally there was as many or more pneumonia deaths in that time.
Was there really?
So who's to say? Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's what I found. There's several charts, but I had one that somebody else posted another one after I had posted that one. But I had one that had shown it was 75,000. I think it was pneumonia, and then whatever it was, corona was like 8,000 less or something like
In
that.
the same period of time?
Yeah, from the beginning of the year until March 16th or something like that, or
Wow.
April. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk that
And it was
like
reputable. The
Yes.
internet plays games
It
with
was
numbers.
from
so.
it was
CDC?
Statistica. So I went from CDC, pointed me to this website. So
I mean, look, all day a new virus comes out and it kills people quick. It is a political move to scare people and make movement.
that's
so,
what I think the
but it's
question
real.
is.
People are
was
dying.
it in? But the question was, yeah, people were dying. But the question is, was it in overhyping versus the pneumonia? Why don't they follow pneumonia across the globe?
They
and
don't.
go, oh, now pneumonia's hitting China. Now it's in Beijing. Like they never do that.
I don't know.
They
I
didn't do
know
that with AIDS.
I
Did they
thought-
do that with AIDS? Now AIDS is hit. You know
Well,
what
now
I mean?
AIDS, like, you can have AIDS and like,
Yeah.
you don't have to be worried about anything.
you're better off than having pneumonia. Like you're better off having AIDS than pneummonia.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But not together.
Well, not AIDS.
Not
HIV.
together. You
Not
can't
AIDS.
have
don't
them
want AIDS.
together.
AIDS, once you
There's
go-
people with AIDS in prison. I was like,
Really?
what? She's like, yeah, there's like a handful. I said, there's only 100 of us. A handful's like 5. What are you talking about? There's 5 people here living in a bunk setting. Like, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah,
is
you're
that safe? They're like, yeah, well, everybody's on medicine. And I go, what happens if they don't take the medicine today?
Yeah.
And then they get cut or something happens. You get into a fight. I mean,
well,
don't
I
transfer.
think they could spread it still on the medicine.
The what?
I think it still spread it on the medicine. I think it just hurts them. They will die quicker.
What about
I think if they take the medicine or not, like it's not a vaccine.
Yeah, well, my bunkie had that.
Yeah. See, there you go. Totally immune compromised.
Yeah, that's.
So listen, that's a tragedy, and I'm not saying that you should cut. I'm not saying that people that are old.
I thought you meant your grandma or something at first. My bunkie.
I know. And the word bunkie is so funny because you can see the sickest killers say the word bunkie, and sometimes they go, hey, what's up, bunkie?
What's
and you're
up,
like, yo,
bunkie?
that's just, I don't, that's like some scary shit. Like, I knew this straight killer, and he sucks his thumb, and you wouldn't say one word.
No.
Oh, yeah, and he's a shooter.
Well,
He's sitting at,
but dude,
and nobody says one word to him.
No,
You say
fuck
something about sucking
no.
his thumb.
sometimes the killer guys are a little
Yeah.
funny like that.
Oh, yeah.
The movies show like Al Capone doing the killings, but the real deal is like they're hiring this finger sucker.
Oh, I got a good
The
character after
fucking-
watching him suck his thumb.
There's actually, I don't want to talk about this guy. We're in New Jersey, man. That's cool as fuck. I think it's cool. It reminds me of that movie. I think that's so gangster.
Mike's like, I love sucking my.
I
thumb."
know. I
He's not tuning into the pod. He's still locked up.
I was a finger sucker. I really was. But you know what I mean? Listen, the media paints movies, video games, it's all fucked up, man. It's like, but as I'm starting to do this, and Joe, it was cool. We talked about this morning, and I'm on the same page as you, but I try not to talk too much because I want to talk on air, is I've done so much digging, and now the world is waking up, so there's a lot more very well-produced movies about the pedophilia in Hollywood and all this stuff, and I started tuning in. I'm like, nothing is new to me. I didn't hear one new name. I didn't see one new thing. yeah, sure, I had to watch more grainy, shitty videos, and now they're well produced, and that's cool. But there's like levels to waking up, right? You put yourself in the darkness for so long, and you think you hear about it, and you want to change, and this is so fucked up. How do people live like this? I don't, and you go crazy, and then you start telling people, and then they think you're crazy, and then you kind of, for myself, then I just went straight. There's two things I went straight in the closet with, like went straight in the closet with conspiracies and psychedelics. Unless you were my really, really good friend, you had no idea I did either. I was into that, either one. I wouldn't talk about it, just shake my head whenever you would say things, and it was just like I didn't want to, because I was nervous. I didn't want people to think about, you pretty much were always been an open book, and I saw the way people perceived you or whatever, and I was like, or some, not all of them, but a lot of people, right, would be like, yo, he's crazy,
Yeah, I've been called crazy a lot. I always try to think of but I don't think I'm crazy. Yo, man, like, I guess the things that I say, I have no a filter.
Well, listen, it's time to take victory laps, because everything we told people fucking 10 years ago, they're all researching. They're all fucking like, what? So they're going to be blowing your phone up. So, Joe, what's the next phase? Like, that's what they're doing to me.
Everybody's crazy until it's mainstream, right? I mean, isn't
exactly,
that
and that's kind of my
everything?
point, right? So it's you're programmed to think. And we're at that level now, Clint, where it's like the movies, the shit. Like, I believe there's a lot of predictive programming that goes on, so that when you're almost ready for the disaster. That's why Project Bluebeam is what scares the fuck out of me more than anything. And I feel like that we're headed there, but we all got to realize that's probably fake.
Can you give me a 30-second on Project Bluebeam?
Yeah. Oh, you want me to give it to you?
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
You when I tell you, it's gonna click. Okay, Project Bluebeam is when they're gonna do the fake alien invasion or fake Christ coming from the sky.
Okay, I knew.
And it's going to bring together a one-world government.
Yeah.
It's the real last straw to bring
like
in because now we're all fighting. Yeah. We're all so upset. But then we all come together to get this enemy. And that's
led by the Antichrist.
Then that's the New World Order, right? That's ushering into the New World Order. But then here you go, Joe. But then like last episode I was talking about, and I know this is very controversial, especially amongst people that are just starting to wake up, is what if you play with this idea? Like when we get into a lot of spiritual practices and stuff, right? Once you boil it all down, it comes down to oneness, which is kind of the talk of the New World Order. Everything is one.
100%.
So
which honestly that's why coming now and seeing things from many angles and perspectives, yes, there's a few that are determined in a direction to make total control of being fearful of most people, of let's say of mankind, and then trying to protect themselves, and they're as scared as the average person, or I don't say the average person, as people worrying about them trying to do the same. So it's like two people are trying to run in directions where they're both conspiracying each other.
Yep. And here's another thing. I know you agree with this. Here's another point that I've been bringing up on this podcast and other podcasts. I really think that as humans, we don't have directions out of the box, and we're pretty much almost like demigods. But if we knew how to work, I mean everything, not just like, you got some people that, right, they know how to breathe, they know how to eat, they do little things, but I mean, like, I feel like everything we do is wrong. Like, we're probably only supposed to eat like once a week, a certain amount of things. You stare at the sun in the morning, you go to bed probably times you're not supposed to, wake up, like, and I'm saying once you did all of that, the way, like, if we had directions, I think that we humans are fucking strong and powerful. Like, to the point where possibly demigods. Maybe we were a slave race that was mixed with these superior races. And the thing they never want us to know is who we truly are. Right? I mean, because we already cracked into... I know the three of us think about... I'll just use this word loosely, even though we don't... But law of attraction, right? Or thinking and getting what you want, or doing crazy things because you put all of your energy and vibration into it. We don't fully know. Imagine they were like... This is a book with the instruction booklet on it. Not... And some people have tried to write them, and they're pretty good. But I'm saying, like, no. It's like literally like plugging your DVD player manual. Here you go. That's how you manifest. Because we all kind of know, And I think that's what they're so scared of. Because technology, I believe that's why the Library of Alexandria was burned, right? After that was burned, it was like all that knowledge is gone. They say some of it's in the Vatican or whatever, and there's certain people that have it, and I'm sure that's true. I mean, why do some of the craziest elites, and I'm not going to name names, live so long?
Well, knowledge is power, right? So if you if you live in fear, and look, we're much more of a threat to the small people who run the world as
Yes.
being 8 billion or however many we have than what they have. It's just that we're so
Divided.
yeah, but we're so brainwashed so they can control us in different ways. When in reality, if everybody would use love and walk away from the ego mindset of fear, you can unite even the powers that be, and everybody can live in this peaceful harmony, for which I believe we are entering Christ consciousness. And when I say Christ consciousness, I'm not saying, hey, Jesus Christ is the Son of God, or this is not about a religion thing. This is about a human thing. And it says in the Bible, he came here to tell you, almost like he was I don't want to say a prophet, let's say a life coach, someone that's saying you can do as I can too, if you were just connected to God. And when I say God, I don't, and I learned something in prison that I thought all the religions were like different gods. It's all the same God. There's all different paths to the same direction. Minus a few other weird religions that I dealt with, like Odinism is a real religion, like Thor.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're joking, right? And like Thor, and like, yeah, those can be aliens and other planets that you thought were gods. But I think that it's all one energy, one source. And I think that the truth is in the details. If you look at the soil, there's a world. If you look inside your body, there's a world.
Microcosms everywhere, right?
We're the micro of the macro, and the macro is the presence and energy of God. So, and we're a part of it. So if we're a part of it, we can tap into the God energy. We could, I don't want to say be God.
Demigod,
but
that's what I call it, like a demigod.
But when people say, oh, now he's trying to claim to be, you are a magical and powerful person that can do a lot. And also, you can also imprisonate yourself. So it's just as much power as you have to help you, you can fuck you. You could put yourself in prison.
Dude, it's just like animals when you put them in a little, like powerful animals, right? And you just put them in a little tiny cage. Or a little zap them once, the cows, and they'll never go past it. Right? It's the same thing. So we just get a little zap. Like, think about right now what's going on in the streets. In a way, it's beautiful. Everyone is going out and protesting. But it's directed wrong. It's all negative. It's so angry. Imagine if this was all like we were just talking about. Imagine this was all love. Imagine this was all pro everyone together. That's when it would be really. But that's probably why buildings had to get set on fire, to just give it negativity right away, right?
Yeah,
just
well,
give it negativity right away.
The Big Bang was pretty violent, right?
Well, if you want to divide everybody and delegitimize a movement, what do? You paint it as a negative, as a threat, as something that's a detriment to society versus being, an asset.
Yeah.
Done. Checkmate. Whoever was doing it, white Antifa, white supremacists, whoever is actually, and whatever the faculty that actually put the bricks that incited the riots, we all know that that's not the actual faculty. Like they were just pawns, like you were saying, in the game, and there's still somebody above being like, do this.
Yeah, and this
puppet
game
masters.
In this game is not one chessboard.
Yeah.
There's many chessboards being broadcasted and run by so many different players that are behind the scenes that are moving things, and there's chaos.
Yeah.
And chaos creates hate, right? Until it's organized. And right now, I think it has to be deorganized in order to get organized. So it's like the Big Bang. Hey, boom! Every planet, everything. There's destruction, and then look at the beautiful world.
I've been trying to follow almost like what we know from their playbook, chaos, right? So anytime I've had a good business conversation, I say, what we are told? The 33-degree Masons get told: make order out of chaos. So all my people, they're trying to do something better themselves. Let's make fucking order out of chaos right now. Let's just use. The internet is showing us a lot of things. We get to get some of their knowledge, because it's not all bad. Remember, they know how to. It's bad the way they use it, most likely, but it's smart. So why can't we turn it around, flip the script? And I know that's what's happening right now. I've also, on the more woo-woo side, which I'm 1,000% into, a lot of there's prophets out there right now that are fucking dead on. Right? And they're coming out, especially with Instagram and all that. You could see them. They're younger people. Maybe they're the Rainbow Warriors. I don't know. But back when I was doing all the ayahuasca ceremonies or whatever ceremonies I was doing, they always spoke of, this was more of a calmer time period in the world. They would always talk about the Rainbow Warriors and all this age of coming. But they would always kind of explain that it wasn't going to be easy, right? Mm-hmm. And we thought it was 2012. which it could be, and we just have our numbers wrong. Who knows?
Well, I think the shift happened in 12.
Yeah, I think so
of-
too.
the
I think so.
beginning
I think the world is so
the
different from
beginning
them.
of
I do. I
End
do
of the
too.
old, the beginning of the new.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, you don't really see the drastic change. It just started.
Exactly. I think if you look at the world before and after, 100%. We all thought it was like Y2K. Everything was not. Something
'cause we
boom
want-
was
yeah.
going to happen.
Yep.
I 100% agree with that. But there's these prophets, and not even regular prophets. There's prophets out there online, and then there's also just not regular, but pretty good at astrology people, and then regular people that just follow it that are all saying we just moved into the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is a golden era. However, it's rocky. It doesn't come in nice and easy. And some of the guys I've been following are all saying the same thing, that they think it's going to be about 10 years of turbulence. And whoever can make it through, it's going to be utopia. And I don't think when people say utopia revolution, I think in their minds it's a little different than what it might look like. But I think it's coming, man. I think the internet got away from people. I think whoever created the internet created it in a way thinking that they were going to fuck with the mind. And they do with social media. Social media can get you, right? A lot of that stuff can get you, the apps and the dopamine and all that for sure. But they didn't realize how the spread of information was going to happen. And the world got so much smaller. I mean, there's fucking protests right now all over the world.
But that's what they're trying to do with the stop of false information, news, and
Yeah.
all that shit with Facebook and YouTube that are trying to do it within their own platform. But you know that it's encouraged from above again.
Yeah. I mean, those are supposedly private companies.
It's lobbied.
Yeah, but it's not to say that it's a private company, not to say that one of the people that bought into the said private company doesn't have some kind of agenda, or somebody way bigger didn't buy it and they're just playing it down.
When you have a tool that big and you have people in power,
Somebody's coming
you
to you
have-
eventually
yeah, and
and
you
being
have
like,
money.
yo.
money will buy people. And when you have money and you're printing it, you're going, what do I need to get you to take this down?
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
you can't pay me enough. And then you make a number and you're like, wow, you can really pay me that? It's like,
yeah.
yeah. It's like, okay,
Oh,
I'll
you
take-
can?
If you could
You
pay me
do
that
have
much, I'll
enough.
shut it down right now.
All right, we might have some breaking news, guys. I'm sorry. Never check my phone, but this guy is the guy that gives me a lot of information.
Blow them out.
Uh,
Who is it?
they have a podcast called We the People Radio. He's a hardcore researcher. He just texted me. That's why I was rude and looked at my phone. That it looks like a subpoena or something that they're going after Anthony Weiner's laptop, and apparently that's where. Once again, I don't want to go dark, but that's where all the stuff is.
All the wieners are.
All the
All the underage wieners.
All the
You have a
un-
soundbite for that one? Like,
all the underage wieners are on that. Yeah.
Oh, wrong one.
yeah.
There you go. Floppy wieners. That's not really funny though, because some fucked up shit is what. That's been the rumor for a long time that laptop, the insurance policy, all the police that saw it, that all of a sudden died.
Tragedy's coming.
So that scares me because that's like, bring out the. Okay, we're done. We're all done. Bring out the fucking aliens or the fucking Jesus. Bring it from the sky
yeah.
now.
What do you mean he's
Yeah.
coming next?
Yeah, she's
Yeah, that's
like,
Project
listen,
Bluebeam, right?
we need to squash
Like,
this
Pull
right
it.
now.
Like when the guy fucking's caught on camera just saying, pull it for the one building.
When
in
it
fucking
comes, it comes.
If it comes, we just all go in the woods. I don't know what we do, but we just fucking don't.
We're in a very bad spot. I was stoked when I was in Georgia. I was in Georgia, and then I went to Texas, and I was like sick. And then I'm like, we're prime fucked right here next
Pray
to
to
New
be on
York.
vacation when it happens.
This is the one. This is the area that they're
Dude,
gonna go
imagine-
after first, right?
Take out a little.
Well, listen,
one
they've been
small
hitting
area
us. Go
takes
to
up-
California first.
New
It's too
York,
big, it's too spread out.
Washington,
The tri-state area, they
I
can take out
know.
so many.
and Washington,
They look like
New
fucking
York.
Independence Day. Like, wait a minute, this is fucking Independence Day. They put on the news. We're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, I sent you that movie.
Yeah,
There was some movie on Netflix, and it's like The Last Crime in America or some bullshit like that. And it's like the last crime before the I'd have to read the fucking thing. But I'm reading it and I'm going, is this real? Did they really make this?
It's a series or a one-time?
Netflix is
One time
interesting.
movie. And
Is it a Netflix original?
Yeah.
Because they're interesting. They just put that fucking Epstein video movie out, which I won't watch. And I am not a Trump supporter. I know I hang around. I have a lot of friends that are Trump supporters. That's all good because I don't judge people by their politics, and I love free-thinking people. But from what I'm told, it's mostly just connection, not the horrible, disgusting, real shit that he was into. It's like all like, surf. It was a bullshit documentary.
Which one?
The new Epstein.
Oh.
From what I'm not even gonna waste my time.
Oh, well, he was too deep in that world to think that they were going to turn on him that hard.
I mean, when
and
they
just be
announced
like,
it, I'm like, I can see what this is. Another thing that I'm hearing.
They're like, we need to smooth this out.
Talking about transitioning to Trump. Not like I said, I'm not a supporter. I don't know where that guy stands. I
There's
really
a bunch
don't.
of stuff about Epstein being a family man. Home videos.
That's great. That's fucking great. He got his Christmas sweater on.
That's scary.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
But
But
is that who you want to be for Halloween, Mike? Because you can be a good Epstein. Actually, I'm looking at it now, and like we can, not the.
I was gonna say,
You got his beard
Albert
and his
Hoffman
mugshot.
/ Malcolm X collaboration for my next Halloween. Like you said, I look like in the.
Here,
logo.
you can get into whatever. I'll finish this movie off. The Last Days of American Crime. Exactly what the explanation is. A new world order. The score of a lifetime. If these crooks succeed, the country's last crime will also be its biggest. The Last Crime.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did.
It's good.
Well, I fell asleep before the end.
So
No,
it's
it
not
sucked. I just
Yeah,
wanted
it's
to
got to
see
be
it.
horrible to fall asleep before the end.
I just wanted to see how they painted this utopia afterwards, and they never get there. It's just about up to the moment that they have some. They're implanting things behind people's ears, chips.
Yep.
And it does like some of the symbolism in it. They're implanting chips, and then they're like, once they turn that buzzer on, anything you think you know is wrong, you won't be able to do, and all this shit. So the guy they like commit this heist of money. They're gonna, as soon as the clock ticks down and they turn this buzzer on, all money is no good. So these people get the money, and then they run over the border to Canada. Well, only the chick makes it. Sorry, spoiler alert. She makes it into Canada, and I'm like, why the fuck would they want a bunch of American money if it's no longer good either?
Yeah.
So that's the whole premise. She goes up there with all this
So
money
there's just massive
and
holes in the
escapes.
story.
But then all of a sudden, America's like this utopia because they turn this fucking brain.
See, that's predictive programming.
Exactly why I watched it. I wanted them to paint. I figured that they were gonna show like after society, and everybody's gonna be like, we love each other.
Yeah, like that old dude that was predicting that. What was his name? He did. He came out with like
The Unabomber?
No, Unabomber. He's an old man, like an old hippie dude that had the futuristic world of like everybody.
Oh, yeah, in
What
Florida.
What was the name of the? He did 3 movies.
Yes. It was actually pretty awesome. He
It
died
was
recently.
like,
and their people are going on. It's a utopia in Florida. That
Yeah,
it's
but
a whole
it was,
sustainable. We'll find it. Why am I forgetting his
That's
name?
cool. Like what he was trying to do, or I'm sure it still worked.
Yeah, people are still going. People are still living on his.
He was just a little old to push it.
He was old. He spent his whole life doing it. I can't remember his name. Clint, if you could try to look that up, just so we can at
What
least
is
give
it?
people the name. You just put like a utopian society in Florida and it should pop up.
Sounds like a oxymoron.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like what is it?
Yeah, it's something
Not
like.
Zoo,
Yeah, I keep thinking a Z as well.
Zootopia. It's not,
No,
it's
that's a
not-
movie by Disney.
you-
Oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So another part of Project Bluebeam or the New World Order push, which is not really Project Bluebeam, but another thing which is very strange, and I had early meditation teachers talk to me about this, and then this is years ago.
Is this it? Celebration, Florida, the utopian town that America just couldn't trust.
What's the? I got to see the picture of the guy.
No. That's just like a nice. That's
Scroll
like
up and go to images.
No, that's a place next to Disney World.
Go to
That's where-
images
That's where one of
on
our friends
Google.
lives there.
No, but if you go to images, I see the guy's face, and we click on him, and then boom, we're next to where he is.
You know what? Right, self-sustaining. That's probably a better word because he never uses the word utopia. Put self-sustaining because he never says it. He always says it's not a utopia.
I'm thinking the name of that movie. I mean, he made like 3 of them too.
Look at that. Look at the way Clint self.
Sustaining. How the fuck do you spell it?
I say you, but it's okay. They'll understand.
They won't understand these fuckers.
Yeah, probably not for that.
What was his name? What was it about? It was
Babcock Ranch,
No,
City
did they
of the
really
Future.
fucking censor this guy already?
Oh yeah.
He used to be everywhere.
Well, I was looking for something just before about that one
Back
world
in the
symbolism
day, man, he
thing,
was. Yeah.
and I couldn't find that anywhere.
Might
Either
have
come
to
up
use
with SWAT
DuckDuckGo.
stickers.
But more than a society, it was about his futuristic movement and what he had with the movie. So if you put something about films made about what is it, utilitarian? Is that the word?
No, it's utopian, but it was a
Utopian.
self-sustaining is really what he was into.
Movies about no, but if you put that movie thing in, it will pop up before you see
Yeah,
this.
maybe put movie. Yeah, maybe put movie. I know people that visited the place and even were donors. It was a really
Independent film about a utopian future.
So while we're looking for
Put
this,
that independent film about a utopian future. and
while
then it
we're
should come
looking for this, so we don't bore people with us Googling, another part of the Blue Beam, New World Order, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, years ago, guys that are not really into conspiracy started talking to me about this is the transhumanism movement, right? Which we're into now. Like Clint said, the chip, making yourself better, transhuman, like, and apparent, like where it gets really, really, really weird in the end is they say that when you start really getting into it, is that eventually you're going to upload your conscious or plug into the machine, and that you're not even going to be forced to do it. But it's like if you don't do it, like you're going to go in. If you go into the machine, they're going to say like you have everything. You don't need money. Maybe everything's VR world, so you could do everything. But apparently that's going to stop you because if we're humans, right, that we're supposed to keep incarnating until we get it right, and that's the way to shut it off. And the ones that don't plug in are the ones that really. And they might seem in this realm like you got it wrong, and you're living off the land, and you're maybe not, and they're in this like, it was really interesting. It was very interesting. I got to find out the names of all those books. I read a lot of them, and it's funny because that's playing out as well, right? You can see all these people that are.
But you know what I would think would happen if you were able to upload your consciousness. You know what I think the end result would be? A cloned consciousness, not yours. Just like a clone. If you make a clone, it's not you.
Yeah, I mean, is it you? Yeah, I don't know.
It's not you. It's a clone of you, which has its own mind, but has the same personality traits and everything else. But
Would
guess
you
what?
let a clone bang your wife?
Yeah.
If it was me,
Yeah. Would you watch?
I'd double team my wife with my clone to see how good I look.
I would be so abusive to my clone.
I just thought of multiplicity.
Just
But
smack
you know,
the shit out of it.
you can't, and they haven't proven this yet, Mike, about the whole conscious thing. The only thing that they could essentially do is upload the mindset, which they're going to call consciousness, but consciousness is an independent thing for an individual.
Oh, we don't even know what it is. You came in.
So,
you don't even really know what it is. But I'm just saying, like years from now, let's say.
No, but they could enough data, and getting the information, they can upload a synthetic consciousness that would seem to
Into a
be
clone.
real person talking, but is it that person? I don't think that's possible.
But I'm talking about straight up like plugging into something.
Keeping your brain alive.
Yeah, something like that, like where you never die, like it's transhuman.
You don't
like
take you don't take the tissue with you, right?
Yeah, but what if they keep you going forever? Like you live forever.
I would think that you would have
I'm
to
not
have a
using the word
brain and a
terminology.
heartbeat beating, and then being a piece of glass. So then, guess what? You just removed your entire body.
Yeah, so then they put you
and
into
now
different
your mind
bodies
is
and
in-
things.
Yeah, I think that is possible. But if that brain is
But I
not
think that's
there,
the wrong move. That's what like they're saying. Don't do that.
I wouldn't
It's a
do
trick.
it.
It's a
But I'm
trick.
saying I think that's the only way for you to.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, because then you don't.
Can one of us do it and call each other? Call each other, and be like, yo, this sucks and this is great. We're fucking eating leaves and shit, and we're like, this is the best thing ever.
I'll call you and be like,
Clint's
hey, take me outside.
Clint's 80 and he's in fucking Grand Theft Auto 775, fucking like, but he's not, and he's just fucking in every porno and.
Just my brain.
Well, they're talking about like in the next, and I think that they have it now, but it's going to be released soon. Is like in the next 20 to 30 years, they're going to be releasing technologies that are going to be able to get us to look 50 years younger. So we'll be living from in the hundreds, and then as life goes forward, we're going to get 150, 200, and not look like old people because science has gotten so knowledgeable from so much time and technology being developed that it's just about slowing the aging process. Just like the same thing if you were in a spaceship and you were traveling into space, everybody else is getting thousands of years old and you only gained fucking a year.
Wow, you said
They're not going to do that for what you said earlier. They don't make money off of you not aging. And you know where that would start?
What if it costs you a lot of money? If you're alive longer.
Yeah. But you know where that would start? Eating correctly.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, what if you knew the box like that? What if you had the instructions? You're probably supposed to live to 200.
If they actually encouraged everybody and made all food manufacturers and everything actually make real food and get rid of all the sugar and everything.
It would be a game changer.
It would be a game changer. And then if they employed the medicine that they have and the technology that they have of stem cells and all that type of stuff, stealing little kids' blood and everything, then you would see really people living way longer, which is probably why these old celebrities make it,
I think they got it already. You don't think Tom Cruise and J-Lo's
that's
got
what
some
I'm saying.
synthetic
They got some.
stem cell?
Exactly.
Or baby blood. It could be. I mean, I hate to say that.
or whatever that.
You just made me think of that
drug
vampire
is.
show. What was that I used to watch on Netflix? It was like when I watched Netflix.
Oh, True Blood.
True Blood.
That was a good one.
What was that stuff that you keep talking about? That the
Transhumanism.
no, the
Project Bluebeam.
drug that they get from
Oh,
little kids' pineal glands or whatever.
Adrenochrome?
Pineal glands.
Adrenochrome.
From their adrenaline glands.
Yeah, from the
right? Yeah.
pineal when you torture someone, which is so terrible. We should go on
What
light.
did you hear? Where's this one? I thought that was that.
Yeah,
I,
you know.
I thought that was the.
No,
what's the?
you know about that.
What's the stuff that
They
Joe Rogan
terrorize the
talks about?
children. That's why they do all the bad things to the children.
I don't know about
they
that.
do it, and that's their drug.
No, I didn't know about
You
that.
put that out of your brain.
I probably stopped that
yeah,
one.
you.
I didn't want to go down that road. I went down many roads, but certain roads are just.
Yeah, I know. The kids stuff gets me so fucked up, and then as you become a parent, it's like.
No, but
even
you know
more.
what? When you go down that road, you have to say to yourself, at the end of this, how am I going to feel emotionally? And you're going to be angry and pissed. And do you want to have those feelings? No. So it's like, fuck that shit.
Maybe not. Maybe that drug's really good, man.
I mean, some people.
Hey, I've said this a million times. Before I knew it came from kids, and I saw it on Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I always wanted it. And then I'm like, wait, they came from tortured kids?
I still don't even understand what's going on with it, but it's fine.
The movie?
I don't know about it.
No, the drug. I don't really get
What's
it.
the drug the stuff that comes from your pineal gland? The other one, the one that's that we
DMT.
DMT.
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, dimethyltryptamine something. So yeah, it's there was something I was gonna pull out of that, and then we went dark. We're gonna go light.
See what happens when you go too dark?
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. That's why I
Cuts
want to.
off.
I think that
He's gonna get rid of me because I'm a negative.
I believe.
Suck him down.
No, you're not. I believe also, man. It's everything could be psyops as well. Even us talking about this crazy stuff and being so scared. Imagine it really was like the fucking Wizard of Oz, and you go behind there, just some little old fucking dude, and all of it's fake. He's like, I've been fucking with these people for so
The
fucking
Truman
long.
Show?
Yeah, he's like, I've been fucking with these people so long. They believed everything. Like he's the one making the videos
Are
about
we
the kids,
psyops?
and maybe.
Well, you know when they say that this is a simulation.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that's if you look at it. Okay, we say God, because everything's explained in the micro to macro, right? So, if as a programmer, as a human, when you make a video game and you produce these things, you make them with ones and zeros, right?
Yep.
So it's all math, right?
Mm-hmm.
God's presence is a mathematical equation that keeps on developing and evolving. I want to say the word evolving, almost like the game that keeps on growing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can show proof of that of how we make video games and how they have progressed from when they first started to now. And being in a simulation, the way that they put it on TV, I think they make people think too sci-fi, and it's like, no way. But it's like, well,
Yeah.
how do you explain the Matrix? Essentially, it is a hologram of light and energy vibration. And I believe that's what we are. And, I went to Google Sky, or which is the one you show the planets?
I don't know.
There's a
Google Earth.
the sky, the one you can go see Mars, you can see all the stars, you zoom out from Earth.
I mean, you could see like drawings.
Everything. No, bro. They have,
Google
Google that
Universe,
shit.
maybe.
It's not real.
what do you mean it's not real?
It's CGI.
Um,
It'll blow your mind, dude, when you find that out.
well, I know it's CGI, but they're looking at it in telescopes and then transferring it. Oh,
Yeah.
I understand, but they're not. But what they're showing you is not just made up positions. It's math.
Yeah, with the artist
I
rendition.
know it's not the real. I know that it's not the real, but they show you what. Okay, so here, what there's a thing that you can do, where you can zoom all the way out, right?
How do I do it?
I don't remember, but if you figure it
Really?
out, you'll see. You'll go backwards, like you're zooming out. Now, keep going. You're gonna go back. All right, keep going.
That's it.
All right. Well, there's another way of doing it. We have maybe it's on the bottom. What does it say? Galaxies, universes. But let me tell you, once you get to the button, what's going to happen? It lets you look at a perspective of mathematically, based off of alignment, position, and everything of the planets and the galaxies. What would it look like to look at the entire universe, not galaxies, everything, from a perspective of being outside of the full entire universe into the space of nothing, which really is nothing, right? And what do you think it looks like? Before
Nothing.
I tell you. But it looks like nothing.
Black.
Nope. It is a
Bill Gates.
sound wave of light and energy.
Well, here you
so
can
that
see it
shows
here.
you it shows you proof that we are a vibrational sound.
See?
And in the Bible and everything else, it says there was the Word. And if
Yeah.
you look into what is that called, where they prove when you talk into energy of something that has in water,
Yeah,
or,
like Dr. Emoto
and
talk
you
about the
can
water.
see the vibrational energy and what it does with bringing
Yes.
things together. So essentially, as the macro and us being the micro, we are a sound, light being, ever expanding, and we're a very piece, a small fractal of the whole.
Fucking speck.
So that's why music is such an influence. That's why I don't really know what I was going to say after that, but we are light beings, and sound and vibration and love and energy are part of it. But in the middle of all of that, there's also your
Things that
dark
can fuck
side.
it up.
You have to have two sides. You can't just be all light.
Well,
you know?
that's another big
and not
thing.
all light's good.
And that's another big thing too. And I agree with that. That's another thing I've been working on too. Is like it's not all light. You got to work on your shadow side. You got to work on it because everyone's got one, right? You got to work on your dark to balance it all out. You know what I mean? So it's so important. We can go on so many things. I don't know, guys. I think you guys have anything else to say?
Were you able to find it?
No,
This doesn't look.
I've
This
just
looks
been-
like the older, when it's like the outdated version. Because I'm looking at the left, I'm like, doesn't really look. It looked. What this is Google Sky.
The one in prison was way better.
No,
than
yeah.
Quinn's computer.
This wasn't in prison. I saw this like 3 years ago on what's up there? That's the
What's his name?
history, is there an edit? Is there a thing at the top?
shit! What
If you scroll all the way to the top, it has like
microwave? What the fuck does that mean?
I'm gonna click it. Fry it.
Oh shit! I don't like.
We're getting real
microwave.
close to it. I mean,
What's on the top? What you have the set? If you scroll all the way to the top and hit the settings thing, like where you can't see right now on the top of your screen, is there a settings thing that allows you to drop like a drop?
Joe, when you're talking about God and you're saying about God and the ones and zeros, and then people are building,
Yeah, no, it's not there.
people are building computers and all this stuff. That's kind of my point with the transhumanism. That's kind of my point with where we can go is like this whole simulation and whatever. But then, like, what if we go too far, or what if we become gods of something else? Because God, in my opinion, that's just me speaking, is that God is is the creator of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So now, what if all of a sudden these kids, these fucking like they create a computer thing, but almost gets away. They birth something else.
I think that evolution has missing pieces. So evolution is more than what it seems like. People are like, oh, evolution's not real. No, it's real. It's just missing pieces, and those pieces can be explained through the evolution of us adapting in what's the epigenetics to our environment. So if this stuff comes into our environment, we as humans and animals too, it's proven, we're going to adjust. We're not going to look the same. We're not going to be the same. We will evolve over time into whatever it is that we bring into it and adapt.
Yes. And we
So-
always do adapt, right?
Yeah, so I think
mean-
that it's inevitable that whatever that is, that's where we're going.
You were in most dudes' worst place to ever be. Did you adapted, right? Eventually.
Yeah, I mean, when I first came in there, I couldn't. It was very hard for me to be sleeping on a bed with rats and cockroaches everywhere, and I couldn't sleep. And then all of a sudden, I'm like missing them. Where are they at? I want to see the one right around the corner, and it's like,
So you're adapting.
yeah,
All of a sudden,
and
humans
it's a
adapting.
sense of fear, right? It's not like, oh my god, it's gonna bite me. It's like, that thing's disgusting and gross. It may like shit in my ear or something, But
Do they bite you ever?
no,
Rats
when you
bite.
clap, it's so funny, dude. When you clap, they jump. So the mouse runs around the corner. You clap, it jumps in the air. It's hilarious. But if you don't adapt, you die.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
So some people in there get weaker. Some people get stronger. I got stronger because I came in there with the right mindset, and I knew my boundaries, and I knew to take ego and pride out. When you go to prison and you talk to people, they're like, you never let your pride go.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why you're here for fucking 10 years.
Yeah. The guys say you gotta go.
Was it worth
Punch
it
someone
sitting
in
in
the face
solitary
or-
confinement? Well, over there, it's like, if you punch me in my face and I do nothing, I'm going to lock up too. Sorry.
So that's why that.
So you got to be so zen to even have someone not like you. Me leaving and walking down that hallway for people to know that I was on my way to freedom one person punches me in the face and I do absolutely nothing, my freedom is fucked.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen it plenty of times. Guys were just about to get out. They get jumped in the shower, and guess what? He ain't getting out. He didn't do anything wrong. He got jumped. It's on camera. Doesn't matter. 120 days, ad seg, both of you.
Wow. That's fucked up. That's crazy.
And that's where I was in quarantine, sitting in solitary confinement.
Which is terrible.
Which
but
we're not going to really have time to get into that.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it for the next episode. But
dude, I want you here all the time. We're gonna have a lot more stories. We have enough stories for this to be its own thing. The amount of stories we have, funny, crazy, all kinds of shit. Now your new experiences, your new journey you went through. This was great, man. This was great. Yeah, we got to get out of here. I want to thank everyone that's tuned in. You can find me at Real Junebug on Instagram. You know, all of our podcasts are on freethinker.tv. That's all of our stuff. Clint, I want to thank you so much for working the 1s and 2s for us. And Joe, it was a pleasure. If there's
Thanks,
anywhere
guys.
anyone could find anyone, if they want to plug anything.
thanks for having me.
If not, I mean, you're going to hear from Joe a lot more. He's not going anywhere. But if you, I don't know.
Peace.